Spurge here, and in this video we're going to break down the Held Sambia 2-in-1 EVO Gore-Tex gloves. Say that 10 times fast, people. So this is coming in around the $200 price point, and really what you're seeing here is a short cuff version of Held's very popular air and dry gloves. Now the air and dry gloves are around the $330 price point. That would be the step up in the line from this. And frankly, I think the air and dries are a bit more thought out and sophisticated in their design. There's going to be some things that we'll talk about here where I don't think these are done as nicely as the air and dries, but the air and dries are $130 more in price than what we're seeing with the Sambias. And the other note here too is not everybody wants a full gauntlet glove. So let's go ahead and break these down. This is going to be for the rider out there looking for one pair of gloves to give you waterproof protection and to give you a lot of airflow in the summer months. And that's because when we call these a 2-in-1 glove, that's exactly what they are. There's actually two different chambers on this. There's a breezy chamber, which allows for a mass amount of airflow through the perforated palm. And then there's a Gore-Tex chamber, which is guaranteed for life waterproof protection, and that is a separate pocket. The nice thing about the Gore-Tex is it's also super breathable, but you're gonna notice that there's two pockets here. Now the nice thing about this is that if you're taking a road trip, you only need one pair of gloves to keep your hands dry, as well as to keep your hands with airflow pushing across normal months. The downside is that it is a bit bulky. You are going to get that Gore-Tex liner on the back of the palm even when you're in the breezy pocket, so it's not going to push as much airflow through the back of the hand as a true summer glove would. So there's a little bit of a compromise that you're getting with the 2-in-1 functionality, but it's proven to be a pretty popular glove within Held's line. I've had the older air and dries for years. So just a note as we get into this glove. If you are watching this video and you're already thinking, I like that, maybe I'll get a pair. As long as you don't live in the state of California whilst residing in America, you'll be completely fine. The problem is the palm on these is made from a very supple kangaroo palm to this. And kangaroo palm, you're not allowed to sell that in the state of California. So just keep that in mind if you are looking at this. It is a glove that, because they're using kangaroo in the palm, gives you great tactile feedback. However, that is not going to be able to be sold in the state of California, so you won't be able to buy these if you reside in the Sunshine State. Is that Florida? I don't know. It's been a long time. The one with the big bear on the flag. So breaking this down from a sizing standpoint, sizes will range from a 7 to a 12. The other thing that's really cool with Held is that there are short and long lengths available. When I was doing the air and dry video, I made a comment about short and talls, and I got that wrong, but it's definitely short and long lengths. I am currently wearing these in a size 11. The note here is that I measured my palm at a 9.5. According to Held's size chart, that would put me between a 9 and a 10. I'm actually wearing these in an 11. So I would recommend sizing up one complete size, if not 1.5 sizes, if you find yourself between sizes within Held's size chart. But you're gonna measure around the palm and bump up at least one size, and you should have no issues there. Fits me spot on in both pockets. Now, as we're breaking this down, we mentioned kangaroo in the palm. You're going to see the perforated there, very soft, very supple. You've got super fabric in the palm as well from a palm slider standpoint. Really easy to pull on tab for the main pocket. Only a single closure, and this is probably my biggest nitpick with the glove, is that this little kind of tapered down Velcro closure, there's too much bulk here. There's so much bulk in this particular area of the glove that it really makes the closure completely cumbersome, and I don't like it. So I would love to see this refined in future iterations, maybe cutting some of the bulk down here, maybe putting a stretch material here as opposed to the big goatskin leather all the way down. That goatskin leather works its way around the back of the hand, mixed in with stretch textile, as well as neoprene at the back. And you're not really getting much in the way of ulna protection, a little bit of coverage there, but no extra foam the way that we have with the air and dries. And then the knuckles on this, it's going to be a TPU knuckle. While it looks like it's massive and ventilated, that's just going to vent to the Gore-Tex liner, which helps with evaporation, but not so much that you will feel that breeze pushing through. That is going to be foam backed. These knuckles are much bigger and bulkier than the ones that we see on the air and dries. I much prefer the knuckles off of the air and dries. So perhaps for future iterations, we can take some of that sophistication that we have in the air and dries and have that trickle down a little bit more. Neoprene Stretch at the back of the fingers, no super fabric on the back of the fingers with this one, unlike what we saw with the air and dries. In fact, you've got this TPU at the back of the middle and the ring, nothing on the pinky. You are getting the covered out seam on the pinky, and then you are getting little pieces of perforation in the fourchettes, keeping in mind that that's really where your airflow is coming in from the top of your hand. Because of that Gore-Tex liner, even in the breezy chamber, you're going to get a little bit of airflow pushing through at your fingers, but then the majority of your airflow is coming in at the palms. That coverage on the outseam of the pinky works its way all the way down to where it meets up with the super fabric. I do like the super fabric in the palm on this, really does help with a slide standpoint. What you're not getting is the super fabric on the back of the hand the way you would with the air and dries. And again, you can kind of see as we're talking about this, really where this glove differs from a pricing standpoint compared to the air and dries, which is that step up. You are getting touch tech at the index and the thumb on this, so you can kind of zoom in, zoom out with one hand. You're going to have the visor wipe on the index finger and a little bit of goat coming through, wrapping around the palm in the little bit of extra reinforcement where you'll need it in the crux between your index and your thumb on this. Overall, a nice iteration of the 2-in-1 technology that Held has been known for. If you're not looking for a full gauntlet glove, if you can't stomach the full price of the air and dries, this is getting you that technology just at a more affordable shortcut version. And you're going to sacrifice some of the refinement that we will see if you consider stepping up to the air and dries. So that's kind of where this one falls within Held's line. And then really when you're looking at gloves in general, there's not a lot of people out there doing a 2-in-1 glove. The real downside, like we said at the beginning of the 2-in-1 design, is just the fact that the back feels a little bit more bulky and doesn't allow as much airflow through as you would get with a true summer glove. But that actually helps with seasonality a little bit in the fact that this is going to be something that you can wear from the spring and into the fall, but there's no thermal with this, so it's not necessarily something you would want to stretch into the full winter months of the year, depending on where you reside. But there's a lot of people out there that really like what Held's doing with their 2-in-1s. And if you want to hear more about what other riders have to say, you can click the little info button on your desktop or mobile device, and you can read other rider reviews from folks that are out there putting the Held Sambia 2-in-1 EVO Gore-Tex gloves through their paces. If you're not sure as to which pair of gloves is right for you and your riding style as well as your budget, you can always reach out to one of our customer service reps and they can walk you through all the different options available to make sure you find the right gloves for your ride. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Held Sambia 2-in-1 EVO Gore-Tex gloves. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.